All right, everyone, welcome to the perfect seminar, right? And I think that going through seminars and webinars right now are huge because it establishes your validity as the real estate economist of choice. And when we're going through and we're picking whatever the webinar or seminar that we're doing, it actually helps demystify the process and we gain our future clients. So some of the big things that we're going to do today is we're going to talk about the PowerPoint presentation, social marketing plans, our follow-ups, hosting, right? Like so many different things that we're going to go through on this. And I think that there's 5 main reasons why you should host a seminar. And as we're going through here, it develops your authority and it gains trust for you. It creates business relationships and your brand awareness. It helps you understand your target audience. It's convenient and affordable, and it generates leads, right? Like we have 2 jobs in this shifting market: to generate leads and then convert the leads. And I think a seminar is a great way to do this. And when I say a seminar or a webinar, right, like as I'm going through, I truly believe like there's no wrong way to do this. You can either go into a coffee shop or to the training room or whatever that looks like and host this in person as a seminar, or host it on Zoom like we're doing right now for a webinar. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But as we're going through, like you get to be the authority and people are coming to learn something from you, and it builds a relationship because you're going to resonate with people. And the other piece, right, it helps you understand your target audience. Like as I'm going through this, you're going to see the people that are raising their hand that are interested in this information, right? Like if you put this out here and you advertise this, you're going to see what people are interested in what you're putting out there, and then you can actually target more messages to them. As we're going through and choosing our topic: first-time home buyer, real estate investing, home buying for millennials, first-time home buyers, for empty nesters, home selling for elderly, right? Like there's so many different reasons. Or for first-time home sellers, think about that, guys. Think about putting on a class for people that this is their first time they're selling a home, and you just want to help them understand the process, how to finance your next real estate investment, how to buy and sell a home at the same time, right? You're going through, you're creating content, you're putting out the messaging, and you're going to see how many people are interested in what you're having to say. So that's the very first thing that we have to do: choose our topic. And there's no wrong answer. Think of something that you're going to have passion around, that you're actually going to want to have these conversations with these people. And that is our very first starting point. Then we need to choose our format. And this is where it gets the difference between a seminar and a webinar, right? When I think of a seminar, it's in person, right? And the price is going to vary. You can do so many different things. It says you get really down and dirty with your audience and be right there with them to address any of their problems. Like that's the best part about being in person. Like you're face to face with them. You get to feel their energy. You get to experience any frustrations. Like you get to read the room so much simpler than what you would on a digital platform. Now, the price is where it's going to be a little bit different because you might have a space to where it's at no added cost to you, right? Like if I think about using the brokerage, you should be able to use the brokerage and have no added cost unless you're going to bring in some kind of swag or something like that. If you're using a Zoom platform, Zoom's about $150 a year right now for about 100 people. So for 100 people with Zoom, and you'll be able to go through and host this. So this would have to be part of my marketing plan if I was going to spend that kind of money. And it says with the digital comes the fight for the audience's attention, right? And we've been there. How many things have we sat on to where we've multitasked? because it's simple to pick up my phone and do something, or have two screens up and listen and do something else. Or I have Google Meets. Google Meets is free, right? I can have Google Meets up. I can have 100 people in that room, and I can run Google Meets. It will record it to the cloud, and I can run that platform. Also, in your in-person training, right, it frees you guys up from distractions. And it's actually more taboo to actually be on your phone. So like you'll be able to interact in person a whole lot more solidly if you did it in person. And then your fourth free option, or I guess your second free option at this point, would be the Facebook rooms. Now, Facebook rooms is a little bit different because you can only have 50 people in those. So while Google Meets is at no added cost, Facebook is at no added cost. Google's going to give you 100 seats that you can fill, while Facebook is only going to give you 50. So just think about that as you're kind of planning how you want to do this. Google is going to allow you to record your session. I don't think Facebook does. So the Facebook one would really just be a native platform. If you're running the advertising on Facebook, do it in the Facebook rooms. You could also just do it like as an audio experience. Like this is literally like Facebook Messenger, where you get to see everyone's face up to 50, or they could have their camera off and it's just like a blurred photo of them. And obviously the cost of the platform of the space or the swag that you're going to buy, like that is going to be your cost. So as you're thinking through this, the first step you're going to go through, think of your topic. The second space is this, and this is why I love doing everything digitally these days. Firstly, I think that as we're coming out of 2020 and the hardships and everything that we faced during that time, a lot of people, this has become the new norm. And it's actually a lot more comfortable for me to say yes to something, knowing that if I'm not getting value out of it, I can turn it off, right? Like I'm not committed to driving an hour and spending money for a ticket. And I can say like, awesome, this wasn't super exciting, click it off and I'm done. I like teaching from this platform because I also have now collateral. Like I could go through this and I could chop up little different bits and pieces to take up more mind share, and I could throw it out on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all these different things, as well as just taking massive, massive mind share. And like I said, I think you're going to get more people if you do it in a digital space. Caveat to that, asterisk, I think that if you were going to cater to an older audience with your seminar or your webinar in this case, you might want to go more of an in-person setting just because of the technology being a little bit more challenging for an older demographic. Then your presentation, right? There's many different ways that you can run a presentation. I'm fond of either a PowerPoint or like just a slide deck like this, right? Like you're going through it. They have them either from scratch that you can build it, or you can build it from a template, or like I said, we have some that are actually pre-built that I'm going to show you at the end of this that I think are pretty awesome, to where it's super plug and play. I don't have to think about it, just need to go do some other things. So PowerPoint is one. The other one would be, it's a little bit harder to do digitally, but there are whiteboard options, right? If I'm in Canva, there's whiteboard options. Like I can do a PowerPoint, or I can actually whiteboard it. If I'm on Zoom, I can whiteboard. If I'm on Google Meets, I can whiteboard. Honestly, I don't know about Facebook if there's a whiteboard option, but it gives me the ability to actually have a conversation and draw out what I'm talking about. So let's say that I am doing something about financing, and then I have my lender partner with me who is actually writing out the math of what it would look like for percentages down and for origination fees and these different pieces. And then it's captivating the audience. Or maybe I want to have the video running in a background somewhere. Maybe I'm going through and I have a couple of like frequently asked questions that I have already gotten the answers for. And I'm running through and I'm asking my vendor partner the questions, recording it, going to the seminar, replaying the recording for everyone, and then answering more questions based off of the answers that were given through the recording. So think about this, like there's 3 different ways that I think that you can truly run this presentation. It's all about how comfortable you are running with it. Me personally, I like slide decks. It's a visual that where you can look at it, you can screenshot it, You can take a picture of it with your phone, because some people don't know the screenshot keys, and you can actually see them just take their phone up and they start taking pictures of the screen. And it gives you just some visual cues as you're going. I think there's a lot of power with a slide deck, as well as the whiteboard and the video running in the background as well. The next step that I believe that you need to do is you need to partner with someone. Partner with someone that can be that subject matter expert and help with offsetting your cost, right? Like, this is someone that maybe I don't know all the answers, but I know someone that does. And I'm going through and I am partnering with these people. Maybe it's a mortgage company, insurance company, title, home warranty, inspection, a hard money lender, credit repair, a contractor, staging. Think about this, guys. Think about the power that you have going into these conversations, to where you're the gateway, and then you have people on your side that can answer the super detailed questions that maybe you don't have the answer for. A lot of the things that I would look at, I would probably have my mortgage professional with me. And if I was doing a investing class, I'd probably have my hard money lender and maybe the contractor. Maybe I would have my contractor in there for a class like that, because then they could actually probably hit me with like some of the costs that they're seeing, and where someone might give you an objection that it's too expensive to do some things, and they could actually break down some of the cost of some of the this is what it does for a 10 by 10 bathroom. This is what a cost per square foot of a typical house project that we're doing. Then you are the industry expert. And like I said, if I'm doing it in this kind of format, I can chop up a lot of that video and put it out for more content. Now, if I'm doing like a first-time home buyer seminar, I might want my inspector with me, right? I might want the mortgage company and the inspection company, and I'm going through and I am answering and getting fielded questions and having some FAQs available to present the information that they're seeing. Guys, we are the gateway for the information. We're the real estate economist of choice for our consumers and for our customers. And when we can present the information that we know that they need to have, like, we don't need to be the industry expert, but I do know the people that are, and we bring them through. I'm going to be your negotiation expert. I'm going to be that person that you're going to reach out to when you're making a decision. I'm going to help you weigh your pros and cons, and I'm going to introduce you to the right people to help you in the subspaces that we are working in. So look at all these, and this should also give you, like, we're in business planning season at the time of this recording, right? Like at the time of this class, and we're going through here. Do you have these people? Do you have a relationship with a credit repair company, with a contractor, with a title company, with an insurance company, with a staging company? And if not, go make those relationships. And then a lot of the other things that you're going to do are going to become so much simpler in your worlds. Even if you do not run this play, you're going to have industry partners at your side, and they're going to be able to offset some of the cost. Like, let's say that I am doing this as a webinar, like we are today. We're 100% digital in our virtual worlds, sitting from our houses or our offices or whatever that might look like. If I am running some Facebook advertising or Google AdWords or anything where I'm trying to get this information out, I might have some expenses. Or maybe I have some door prizes, right? The X amount of people that join this webinar will get this from me. My vendor partners can offset some of those costs, or maybe all of those costs, depending on what the costs look like. And as I'm going through this, I think one of the biggest pieces to keep in mind is whoever you partner with on this venture, any and all leads that come through there are the groups, whoever helped me. So if I bring in a mortgage company and I get a lead, that lead needs to go through that mortgage company. Unless they already have a mortgage company of choice that they're using, I need to make sure that they are partnering with my vendor partner that actually helped put on this class. And it's a team atmosphere. So I'm also vetting these people. Like, do they have a problem following up with these leads as they're coming in? Are they going to help lead generate? Are they going to help follow up with the leads as we are getting the leads? Are they going to help X amount of months down the road? Because we know not everyone is hands raised in the air, ready to buy and sell at this time. So lead generation is going to be big. So then you have your marketing plan, right? And I think at the very beginning of this, like think about your MOFR, your make offer for immediate response. And this is why we talked about some of those offsetting costs. Maybe you're going to give away a book and you want to partner with your vendor partners to see how much they would be willing to give towards these books. Or you're going to give away a physical check sheet, right? To where like this is the home buying checklist. I had to go to Kinko's, I printed it off, all these different things like pre-done pins with your logos on them, whatever that looks like. This is one of the big reasons to have a vendor partner as well. Yes, they are the expert in their space and they will help offset cost. We want to get it out on as many channels as possible, right? So obviously we want to dive into our database and let's invite them out and let's make sure that we're making sure that our database and their database is getting this information. So if I am running something around selling your house, every buyer that I helped is a potential seller now. So that entire database needs to be part of this. If I have orphaned clients, right? These are people that I wasn't in real estate with, but they used someone else previously. I want to make sure that I am getting all this information out to them as well. Maybe we're doing it in a geographical farm, right? Like I have a door knocking space that I am in. I'm sending out postcards. I'm doing these different pieces. I want to make sure that I'm getting out all of my opportunities. Firstly, it's just a touch. Like they're going to see my face. They're going to know that I'm doing stuff. Whether they come or not, that's okay. I just want them to know that I am everywhere and I am their real estate economist of choice. We're going to post it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google My Business. I'm going to put it on TikTok. Like I am going to advertise this thing. You guys all know how I feel. I have been on the vertical video kick, right? Like I'm doing vertical video to make sure that my social media platforms know what I'm doing, as well as I'm going through and I'm running Facebook ads, right? Like I'm going through and I'm making sure to get this information out to as many people as possible. I'm putting it on Eventbrite. Eventbrite is huge. And what I like about Eventbrite is this. Let's say I do it on Facebook. Firstly, I'm going to do it in Eventbrite and I'm going to create the event. I'm going to put all the collateral, all the information. I'm going to put maybe I'm going to put it on Zoom or Google Meets, and I'm going to put all the links in there. Then it's going to have a lead capture form in Eventbrite. And they're going to go through, they're going to be their name, their phone number, their email. It's going to send them the virtual ticket. Cool. Now, guys, to make Facebook cheaper, I'm going to run a Facebook post on my business page with the Eventbrite link in it, and then I'm going to boost it because I'm not lead generating. Like I don't need a lead capture form because Eventbrite already has that information. So for me to get that information out, it'll be significantly cheaper. We're talking pennies per reach, opposed to dollars like $7, $8 per lead. Think about that, right? Like all I need Facebook to do is push the information and let Eventbrite do the heavy lifting. I'm going to post it on local event boards, right? Like I might go through and put in the library, or if I'm a part of any organizations, like if they have an event board, I'm putting it up, and then in meetup groups. I'm going through and I'm making sure that I'm just getting this information out to as many people as possible. And guys, worst best case scenario, I fill up my 100 spaces that I have on either Zoom or Google Meets, and I can't fill up the space anymore. Keep in mind, if you're running this in person, make sure that you limit the numbers for the room that you're using. Like you do not want to be scrambling and saying that like everyone's available and you have less room for everyone. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with standing room only. I think that sends a message that this is impactful and it's a great photo op. And as long as you're delivering the value, awesome. But if the fire marshal comes and shuts the thing down because you were over capacity, that might be a little bit, not bad press, but who knows if someone's going to look at you as an expert anymore, not knowing what was and wasn't allowed in a local zoning ordinance. I like this, guys, as I'm thinking about doing this, is over 1/3 of homes sold are going to go to first-time home buyers who then become an investor, who become a seller, and then repeat and referral business. So just think about this. Like I love the first-time home buyer seminar or first-time investor seminar, right? Because those people are going to cross match a lot. And we need to be bringing people into our ecosystems from our not met database. And then now they're a lead. And we take them from a lead. and we systematically and strategically communicate to them, and then they become a contact, and then we convert them and they become a client, right? This is the whole process of things that we need to be doing. Massive, massive mind share, because market share follows. Over communicate. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. We do not have a lead generation problem in our organization, in our industry. We have a lead conversion problem. And this is the thing, I heard a statistic the other day that it takes about 8 conversations to convert a lead into a client. 8 voice-to-voice conversations. That's not phone calls. That's not text messages. That is phone calls that I am having a conversation with them. I heard that the average real estate agent quits after 2 voice-to-voice conversations with their lead, and then they quit because they chalk it off as a bad lead. There's no such thing as a bad lead, guys. It is a bad follow-up. So we need to over communicate. We're going to send out text messages. We're going to put a calendar invite, emails, phone calls, do the video message, vertical video, guys. And then the week of, the day before, the day of, like, I am hitting them with this. I'm sending them text messages. I'm sending them emails. Reminder, here's the Zoom link. Text message, reminder, here's the Zoom link. Phone call, excited to see you guys. Like, and depending on how big this thing gets, maybe it is getting a little bit overwhelming to make a phone call. So I might invest in something like a slide dial to where it just broadcast it out there. But we need to make sure to get the message out, because we need the at bats, because this is a numbers game, right? We need to get as many people to our event to hear our message so that they can resonate with a few. We're not going to resonate with everyone, but we need enough people so our message resonates. So we're going to send out info about the event. What can they expect at the event? How they can get in touch with you after, before, whatever that looks like. What happens if they can't make the event? So guys, do we have a plan B? Life happens. I get it. You even with this webinar that we're running right now, there was RSVPs that I can see that have not made the call. So what happens if they can't make it? And then reminders, like, we need to be thinking about how we can communicate to get this information out. Guys, we need to be making sure that we're preparing and practicing. And this is the thing. Practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So we're going through and we need to practice the presentation with our partner. Like, if we're running this thing with a mortgage company, we need to run through it. Let's have a dry run. Let's make sure we're comfortable. Let's practice it in front of our peer group, right? Like, maybe this is a thing and we're going to go through, and this is going to be part of our lead generation activities for the rest of our careers, because I do think there's huge power in this. Let's practice with our peer group. We need to be early to our event. You need to make sure that everything works, guys. There is times where bad stuff happens. Zoom is down. Google is down. The room isn't ready. I thought that I had a cord where the cord's now gone and I need an audible. I don't know what the Wi-Fi code is, right? There's so many different things that could happen. If I get there early, then I can make pre-game adjustments so they do not affect my audience too much, or at least they don't feel it. Like, I can send out a new, maybe Zoom is down that day, and I can send out, guys, change. Here is the new link. It is no longer this Zoom link. It is this Google link, and I can fire this off. Dress professionally and make sure that the partner does too, even if it's only from the waist up, right? Like, if we're going through and if it's a Zoom link, like, just make sure that the top's on and we did our hair and we're ready to roll with this. Have giveaways ready to go. I think that we should go through. We should have those mofers or just some exciting things for them to remember us as they're going through. Ask many questions so that you understand that they understand, right? Because we just assume that we are resonating. And if we're not asking questions, we might have lost someone that might have been a client if we understood what they were looking for. End on time. Don't be running over. Like, make this thing an hour tops. Like, if I'm going through, make it an hour. If it ends a little bit early, that's okay. But respect people's time. Don't go over half an hour. Unless it's because of all the questions that people are asking. And like, maybe that's good, maybe that's bad. I either didn't answer enough stuff and so they're all lost and they're asking me questions, or that they're so interested in the topic that they are still engaging. And then go into this thing expecting appointments and signed contracts. I think that's where a lot of our opportunity is that we go into this thinking that this is just a checkbox. I'm doing my lead generation. I showed up. I did it. Cool. Now go into this thing expecting like how many pieces of information do you want to leave with and have appointments ready and lined up, ready to go. So one of the things I think is important is maybe going out and having like this Appointlet or Calendly app to where you're downloading this thing and there's a QR barcode that as it's resonating with people, they can set up a 15, 30, 45 hour long consultation with you. And you can set up the parameters like the QR barcode. I'm probably putting it up. It's on a screen. It's up in the front of the room. It's on the slides. And they can actually pick what day they want to get on your calendar. You can say, this is a Zoom meeting. This is in person. This is coffee. Like you set that. You set the hours you're willing to have the meeting. You're setting the time limit for the meetings. Like all of this is there. Go into this thing prepared to set appointments. That is your mindset. You are not doing this for fun. This is not a checkbox. This is to build your business. Let them know what the next steps are, right? Give them homework. What can they expect from the team from here? Like, are they going to get a recording of the webinar that you did? Are you going to give them the slide decks? Who and when will someone be reaching out to them? Like, will the lender be reaching out? Will the contractor? Will the title company, the insurance company, the credit repair company? Like, who and when should they be expecting some phone calls, some emails, whatever that looks like? And then give them some more additional MOFers, right? Like for those first-time home buyers who schedule an appointment with me or who come today, we're going to set you up on a home search. Or if it's a first-time sellers webinar, seminar, guys, we are going to get you your free equity analysis. And if this class interested you, stay tuned next month because we have this event coming up. If you want access to more of my events, make sure to sign up here. Like, let them know what the next steps are. Prep them for their homework, what to expect, and how to get more value out of you. This is hugely important. And then the follow-up. Guys, we don't have a lead generation problem. We have a lead follow-up problem. They need to go into your CRM. You need to put them in there and they need to be strategically gone through and get their information. We need to make sure that we're having phone number, email, address, bare minimum, right? So that I know who I'm reaching out to. I need to tag them. Where did they come from? My first time home buyer seminar? Cool. Like they're a buyer, they're a first time home buyer seminar. I need to make sure that I'm getting out my information to them. And then as I'm following up, I need to put the information in here, right? Like I need to go through as I'm reaching out to these people, I need to remember what the conversations that I had. So I'm putting in the timeline in the notes sections, conversations, when I called them, when I emailed them, what did I send them so that I can do some follow-up later. This is the thing, guys. We're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to evaluate what worked. And then we're going to find out what our opportunities were. And we're going to make some adjustments. Like, would a different subject matter expert work better? Like maybe your partner that you brought in, you guys didn't mesh well, like on the screen together, or maybe they were just too nervous and they didn't match the energy that you had. And while I don't want to be quick to judge, if it's not going to work, it's not going to work. Let's find someone else. And maybe they didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but you didn't like the energy. Like, be comfortable having that uncomfortable conversation of we need to change some things, or we need to change some personnel. How was your attendance? Like, look back at your attendance and think of like, did we get the word out early enough? Did we get it on enough channels? What channel brought in the most guests? And should I double down, triple down, quadruple down on that channel next time? Because that's obviously where these people came from. Look at your follow-up and your follow-through. Was everyone contacted when you said they would be contacted by? Was the vendor partner supposed to be reaching out on this day, and did they? And this is the thing. Do it 11 more times. Guys, I think that this is one of those plays where you should be running it once per month. And if it's 1 hour, you are literally talking about 2 hours just for this piece alone. We're practicing and then we're doing the real play, right? Role play, real play, role play, real play for 24 hours a year. That doesn't include our follow up. That doesn't include showing them houses and writing contracts, right? Because that's the intent of this thing, is going on appointments and setting these people up. But guys, your reach is huge when you go through this and execute this right. So I told you that there's two pre-made slide decks for you guys. The one on the right is through Keller Inc. And anyone in any ecosystem can pull this thing up. That's the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. And we'll look through it here in a second. The other one on the left is the Your First Home. And for those guests that we have on the call today, or if you're watching this recording a little bit later, just reach out to me and I'll get this to you as well. But this is based off of the latest book, the second edition of Your First Home, and it's a complete slide deck. So want to show you guys, a couple of these. Let's look at Your First Home to start. And so as we're going through the Your First Home, like this is how they're laying this up. Like you can go through and it has information and it tells you where and what info to attach, right? Put in your bio. Congratulations, you made some first steps. It's going through facts and fears about buying their house. It's talking about mortgage rates, right? We're going through, it's talking about the steps, how easy it is to buy houses. You're going in, it's talking about hiring the right agent. Guys, there are so many slides, 62 in fact, 62 slides from the Your First Home presentation of just tons of information where we can just follow it through. Now, this is what's also exciting. I was talking about this the other day in one of our meetings with the brokerage. It's also in Spanish. So if you are looking to have more of conversations with the Spanish speaking ecosystem community, here it is created in Spanish for you. And statistically, guys, I saw something the other day that said 70%, we'll see a 70% increase in Spanish speaking home buyers and home buyers in the next 20 years. And now we have a slide deck to service that demographic of home buyers. And then the other one that I want to show you guys, and it looks like it fell down, so give me 1 second, is the investor workshop. This one's pretty cool and it gives you some steps to go through it, but it's based off the MREI, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor, and it goes through and it just gives information about you, myths about investing, local statistics is what you put in there. You're going through and it's talking about the increase in market value and equity that people will have out of here. And this is on Keller Inc. So this one is available to everyone. It talks about next steps. So either one of these, if you're going to run through these pre-made slide decks that are already here for you, they both have accompanying books. So those can be your MOFers. The first 10 people to sign up or the first 10 people to show up will get a free copy of this book, right? Make it engaging, right? These people are serious enough to come show up for this. They're not doing it for fun. So what's bad about investing $14 per person times 10, $140 in investment that you have, and then you get your commission check that's going to be north of $10,000. Like I think the ROI with my 2 hours of time plus giving away a free book, but guys, that's huge. So I really like the thought of these pre-made seminars. So as we're going through, everyone, this is what I would look at. I want to make sure that we know that seminars and webinars are going to be big. We need to identify what our topic is. Then we're going to choose the format that we want to run. We're going to pick how we want to present it. We're going to find our vendor partner from there, look at our marketing process, over communicate. We're going to do our preparation and practice. We're going to make sure that at the event, we're giving next steps. We are going to follow up after the event, and then we are going to analyze our performance, and then we are going to rinse and repeat to make sure that we take massive, massive mind share because the market share comes next.